Now supposedly, we are now live. Oh good, so we are live, very good. Let's pop out the chat, come back over here. Alright. And I'm going to say again, as always, if you're on the background there, don't be too bashful. Just stop by and say hi, okay? Don't be bashful. Alright, come up here. Okay, so welcome back to the Precision Data Analytics channel. We're continuing to try to get the Python package manager written in Rust. Of course, you always want to say written in Rust, so to get the people the credit. And I tried the standard installation message is only for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. So you had to go to the package manager on GhostBSD to try to install it. And the good news is it is installed. But let's see what happens. Let's see. UV add numpy, okay? Project Homo doesn't exist. Oh, I know it is. What do we have to do? You have to be inside your directory. So it's UV add numpy. And let's see what happens. Now this claim to fame is it's fast. It's in Rust, it's compiled, and it's fast. Okay, so we come up here, and we get a whole bunch of errors up here, okay? A whole bunch of errors, okay? So let's do this. Let's do something funky. Let's come up here. Let's uninstall UV and reinstall it. That way, make sure we get a clean install. Because we try to install the package, say pandas and numpy using the -- frozen thing, because it says apparently ignore the error messages. Well, we did, and it didn't work. So let's uninstall UV and then reinstall it. Now the other question is, of course, the one solution. This is where we're leading to. I posted this question. Of course, it's UV and not UX, but you understood what I was saying. When I tried to load the package with UV, add pandas, I get a screen full of error messages. Any fixes? And he says try install GhostBSD-dev. Now does that mean does it mean it includes the dashes? The -G is a new option for me. So let's go UV and then scroll down, and there it is. So you uncheck it, then you say apply. Yes. Now the other problem is because most Python packages are written for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. You can't actually use, even though you can install pip here, you apparently can't install packages because it's still wrong. So you actually have to come into here, okay, install a package. Now, if worse comes to worse, okay, see, there it is. Why do I have to install it separately? Why can't I install it using pip? I'll show you one more thing. It's kind of funky, okay? Look at this. Linux Miniconda installer. So what does that mean? Does it mean it runs a what it does? It means it creates a Linux shell apparently, which is kind of funky. Okay, so but that's not our point. We want to now. If worse comes to worse, we can always just use the the built-in v and var function to build a library. Okay, let's do this. Let's install this. Confirm. So if worse comes to worse, we could just use the venv built-in module for Python to create a virtual environment. You know, but I was hoping to use UV because everybody's all hot and bothered over UV, right? So anyway, let's come back over here and let's do this. sudo pg pkg install -g single quote GhostBSD. Oops. So, you know what the star could mean? That could mean install everything, okay? But again, if this is supposed to be a user-friendly package, then something as basic as UV should work. Something as basic as pip should work with Python. Okay. So what it's doing? So the star probably means BSD. Everything, every character after that, and then end it with -db. Okay. Because if you look, everything's BSD dash this dash that. Okay. Of course, if this doesn't work, well, that's a good question. That's a good question. I probably will just use the envar function, you know? So I know I asked how to use that someplace. The sure is low. I mean, to me, this is not installing type dev packages. This is not entry level stuff. This is not user friendly stuff. Okay. Dev. Lots of devs. So it's basically saying install BSD, and star means one or more match one or more characters. It's BSD, a bunch of strings, -dev. Okay, good. So now we got that. Let's just start over. Stop it. Can we do a -yes here? Okay, good. Good. So how we start? We start UV, init, GitHub. All right. Now it's there. UV, add. The tab, you right tab, that does this. Now remember, this thing's claim to fame is that it's fast. All right, it's fast. It's thinking, which I'm not sure if thinking's good or bad. Of course, again, as always, don't be bashful out there. Stop by the chat section and say hi. Oh, hey! Sorry, I didn't see you there. Hey, yo, what's this? I'm using, sorry, I didn't see your message out there. But anyway, if you're still there, what I'm doing is I'm using GhostBSD, and I'm trying to get the UV Python package manager to work. Okay, I installed it, and and because it's not available from the sites for BSD, I had to install it from the package manager, the BSD package manager. And then when I tried to run I tried to run, you know, uh, VI or VU add pandas, for instance, I got a long string of error messages. So I posted it to the GhostBSD forum, okay, and they said, try this. All right. So I did that, and it installed a long list of dependencies. So then it went back and I reinstalled UV from the package manager, and now I'm trying to do something as simple as install NumPy. But again, this is supposed to be the UV's claim to fame is supposed to be. It's written in Rust and it's compiled, so it's supposed to be really fast. We can see here, it's not very fast. So even if it works, but it's not fast, okay? And if it doesn't work, well, I'm probably going to wind up, and it's like also like Anaconda doesn't have a version for BSD. You can actually install something that's kind of goofy. It says something like Linux Anaconda bash or something like that. So it's almost as if you're going to use Conda, you have to use it. You have to set up like a virtual Linux environment to run it or something like that. Of course, the other option is just use the built-in module, the venvar module, right? Right. So we can come up here. We can say, well, okay, right? Then you activate it. So we're still waiting. Here's the thing. Hey, thanks for the two big, Virat. Thanks for stopping by, of course. And Morris, thanks so much for the two. What is that? The two big thumbs up there. What do you want to call? I'm not quite sure what that is, but I never get crowns, so you're one of the first person to give me 2 crowns. So thanks so much for that. Okay, and you can see here. Oh, it says it's preparing packages. But again, the whole point. Have you guys used UV before for your Python package? Have you tried it yet? And we're still waiting. It's preparing packages. And if it's not fast, right, then what's the point of using it, right? Because that's the whole claim to fame of UV is it's because it's Rust and it's compiled. It's like lightning fast, and it is. When it works, I mean, it's lightning fast. I mean, it would literally install this 4 or 5 packages within like a minute. I mean, it's that fast when it works. But you can see here, again, I installed a bunch of dependencies, dev dependencies. None of this ran the UV add function. See, here's the command right there I'm running. Okay, that right there, UV add NumPy. And of course, NumPy is basic. You can't do pandas without NumPy. So hopefully at some point this will actually finish running. And if it doesn't, like I say, guess what? I'm going to move on to just using the VNVB function. Okay. I have some R code and some duck database that contains data for Sally's shoe store. Okay, 10,000 rows of sales data for Sally's shoe store. And of course, I used ChatGPT to actually create the original data, by the way. By all means, if you guys are still there, let me know what you're up to this. Let me know where you're coming from in the world and what you're up to this evening. So we're sitting here, and we're still waiting. Well, the other thing about BSD is that because most Python packages are available for Mac OS, Windows, and Linux, you can't use pip. Okay, you can install pip, but it doesn't make any difference because it won't work because you get a bunch of error messages. So therefore, if you want to install a Python package, you have to do it through the BSD manager. All right. Preparing packages using CPy interpreters. Oh, it's only used, and that could be a problem. Oh man. You know what maybe what I should have done? Oh, jeez. Should I have installed Python? Oh man. Maybe I should have installed, well no, because if I'm inside the environment, then it's going to use hokey smoke. It looks like it may have run. But it took 7 minutes to run, okay? So it apparently did run. So let's add, by the way, I'll mention also, GhostBSD by default uses the fish scale, the fish shell, okay? And in this case, to complete a command, use the right arrow. So let's see if this runs any faster. I'm not quite sure why it's not installed in 3.13, but it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't take 7 minutes to install a package, okay, but it does. So is it installing this? Is it taking the source and compiling? Is that what it's doing? Let's just take a look at something. I'm going to take a brief detour here. Let's come to Software Station, and this is where all your software. You can use the BSD package command. But again, the whole purpose of something like this is to make it easy to use. You know what I should have done? I should have first done a UV add Python 3.13 because that's the one that's installed. When you install Python through that's the one, I believe that's the one that installs, doesn't it? Let's come over here for a second. I want to see if i3WM, the tiling window manager, is available. By default, I think this is a version of XSCV. I'm not really sure. I mean, look how long it's taken to install a single package. Now, one advantage of UV is that you don't actually have to activate the environment when you go into the directory. That activates the environment. Okay, let's mention that to you. I'm planning on doing, by the way, more live. I'm getting back into live streams because it's kind of therapeutic to do live streams, especially when a couple people show up like you guys did this evening. Okay, so they don't have i3 installed. Well, there it is. There it is. You can also come back and try to install this later, okay? I don't know if you guys are familiar with DistroTube's YouTube channel, DT. Uh, he's big into tiling window managers, okay? So what's going on over here? Let's minimize this for a second and close this. There it is. Okay, good. So we're still here, and we're trying to install a simple package, right? Let's just check something here. Let's open another terminal. Now, because I believe oh, it does install 311. That's odd. So I'm just going to sit here and do a really long session. So we got like 2 of 6 package. We still need to install Matplotlib, Seaborn, stats models, and Jupyter Labs. Okay. Let's just do something a little funky, just for the fun of it, okay? Let's create, let's do -m. Let's make sure where we are first. Let's build an environment in here. Okay, -m, right, venv. How do we want to do this? Let's create, shoot. I don't know. I was going to create an environment using, if you guys want to go get a cup of coffee, you can certainly go and come back, okay? And we can do, let's do this. Let's just create an environment for the fun of it. Python R. Wait. I wonder why it's only 311. -m, venv, venv. Let's see. But again, if I can't get pip to work, right? Then I can't get venv to work. So it's saying build. Okay, but yeah, that's already built. That's correct. building pandas. So we, if we want to do stock, we have to build Y finance also. Okay. Right. The idea. What's the idea here? Well, if we come back over here, right. So that works. There's DuckDB. So what do we do next? What do we do next? Okay, good. Then we say, okay. So you see over here, this says script. The only problem is it's not in scripts anymore. It's in bin. Let's take a look at what's in bin. Yeah, look at that. So aha. So ChatGPT is outdated. Okay. Right. Interesting. What is it? Oh, okay. Dot. Unknown command. Okay. So what do? You come over here. In the meantime, hey, Twix GTA, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the big crown there. I appreciate it, friend. Thanks so much. Yeah, what I'm trying to do in a nutshell, I've been tinkering with. I'm mainly a Windows and Linux guy, but I got interested in GhostBSD, which is supposed to be a user-friendly version of a FreeBSD, a lighter version. And I tried to get the package, the UV package, the UV Python environment management program to work, which is written in Rust. And I got a whole string of messages when I tried to do like a UV add package name. Okay, so I posted a question to the GhostBSD forum, and it said, run this long command. Okay, run this command here to install a bunch of dev packages, and I did. And the good news is it's running now. The bad news is it's like really slow. I mean, it took 7 minutes to build the Python, the NumPy package, okay? But UV's claim to fame, it's Rust and it's compiled. It's supposed to be blazing fast, okay? And if you do it on Linux, yeah, it is blazing fast. I mean, it's just crazy fast how quick you can install 4 or 5 packages in like less than 2 minutes, maybe in a minute. Okay, but as you can see here, it took 7 minutes to build NumPy. So if you can't really do that, okay, then it's like, well, what's the point of using UV? Okay, and the other thing is, if I wanted to do Conda, it basically uses the Linux Bash shell to run Anaconda. Okay. So now while I'm sitting here, okay, I'm also trying to. Oh, good. So that worked. So now let's try pip 311 install. Okay, so I finally went in and I said, you know what the heck? I'm just going to create you know, what to say? I thought, you know, what I'm waiting here for UV to finish building pandas. I thought I'd just create my own environment. So I created an environment called DuckDB, okay, and then I activated it using the fish bin activate function. So now we're going to try to use pip3. Well, wait a second here. Holy smoke! It just ran. So it ran NumPy's pandas, date utils, pip6, and data. Well, that's encouraging. Okay, let's do something else then. While we're here, Kelly thinks, oh, you're into the security or the hacking scene, are you? I say, yeah. Here's the thing. There isn't really a good reason to use GhostBSD. You can find versions of Linux that are just as easy to install as GhostBSD, okay? And everything, and all your environments will run. Anaconda will run, UV will run. Matplotlib, Seaborn, stats models. So let's try installing 3 packages. And again, remember, this is supposed to be fast, okay? It's supposed to be fast. But while we're here, let's come over here, and let's try to install pip into our DuckDB. So again, I used the venvar module to create an environment called DuckDB. I activated it. Now we're going to try to install NumPy within that and see what happens. I'm running it on a Oracle virtual machine. Okay. Yes, Oracle virtual machine. That's correct. I gave it 4 processors, 16 gigabytes of memory, and 100 gigabytes of storage of space, virtual disk space. So why is it trying to install a normal site package? It should be installing it within the environment, right? It says preparing packages. Now, one note about the UV package is that you don't actually, in most environments, you have to activate your environment. You don't have to do that with UV. When you cd into the directory, it's automatically it actually activates the Yeah. So it's trying to build all. So it's trying to build all these packages now. Okay. Now this is kind of strange. If I've activated my environment, I'm in my environment. How come it says it's using normal package installation? Yeah, that's okay. This is a what? I think it's an i5 processor. I think it's got a total of 8 cores. You know. So you can see we're still waiting. Yeah, prepared 2 packages, 15 minutes. Well, I don't think the problem is the cores. Okay, the problem is I had to install. You can't actually because UV isn't actually written, doesn't actually support BSD. You have to download and build the packages uh, separately. Okay, so that's the issue with UV. I had to install a bunch of dev pack in order to get it to work. I had to install. You can see over here. I had them run this package to get UV to properly work. So basically, what it's doing is it's basically which installed a whole string of dependencies. Okay, so basically, what it's doing is it's actually rather than simply downloading the package, which is fast. It's actually building the packages on my system one at a time. That's the real issue with UV at this point. You know. Which kind of defeats the whole purpose of using UV, right? The whole purpose of UV is it's written in Rust, it's compiled, and it's just fast. And like I say, if you use it on Linux, oh yeah. So if you actually use it on your machine, it's one advantage is it's also really small. You know, Conda's good, but Conda tends to have a lot of overhead. Okay. Uh, okay, so it's built a couple things here. Good. Uh, but you see, we still build a numpy and pandas and pillow, so it hasn't made it to. So it must be done. It must be done. But if you put UV on your Linux system or on your Mac OS system or on your Windows system, it is going to be blazing fast. I mean, it'll download these packages in seconds instead of minutes. But because it's building, hey, it's taking time. Of course, you only have to do it once, right? I wonder what would be involved with building a custom BSD package for something like this. Plus, it's also running a slightly older version of UV. It's using like I think 0.18, and the current version is like 0.2 or something like that, maybe. So I wonder what would be involved with actually building it from source. You know, of course, it'd probably take forever. But so anyway, you can see it's building. So it's built Kiwi Solver, it built pillows, but it hasn't built any of the rest of them. Yeah. So tell me, Trick. So what do you do with your system? You said you use you run Kiwi Kali Linux, which is a 2 Raspberry Linux, due to Linux, got 2 Raspberry Pis running. Okay, that certainly is one way to. That's one way to get into Linux. So are you running them on a virtual environment also? Oh, you said Raspberry Pi. Okay. Yeah. You know, the other thing you can do if you have a Windows or Mac, like I say, if you have like a Windows or Mac OS Windows machine, it's very easy to run an Oracle virtual environment, VMware or something like that. Okay, you can do that. So even this is taking a few seconds to prepare, right? Again, this up here was I used the -M for module in the VNV flag. You know, one guy on YouTube is kind of fun to watch is DistroTube DT. He does a lot of. He's actually done a whole series of videos on various man pages, on various functions in the man page and stuff like that. But he's also entertaining. He gives you a lot of knowledge. He's really the only Linux guy. Well, there's another young lady named Bread Penguin or something like that. She's kind of fun to watch also sometimes. But DT is probably the guy I watched the most. Now, obviously, if he weren't running this in the background, okay, this would probably be finished by now, and this is probably slowing this down also. But yeah, there really isn't a good reason to switch to GhostBSD unless you just want to unless you just like me, you want to run it in a virtual machine just to see what it's about. But yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but its default shell is fish. Okay. Who knows? Maybe next time I'll install UV on my Windows machine, just for the fun of it. Okay. I'll be right back. I'll give me something to drink. Keep an eye on this screen over there. So let's see, we got 3 built. Unfortunately, Pandas isn't one of them. So of course I could be making a mistake by installing more than one package at a time. That could be a problem. Never thought about that because you can see it's trying to build pandas and stats models. Okay, so this could be a mistake also. Yeah, so I need to think of another Python package I can install to test this out when running. Because again, it's trying to build all 3 packages at the same time, which doesn't make a lot of sense. If it is running correctly, it wouldn't make any difference. I mean, it'd be so fast you wouldn't care. But in this situation here, I probably should have only installed 1 package at a time. Of course, this here is also slowing it down. Oh, this is interesting. So I created a virtual environment called DuckDB. I went into bin, and it's a link to user local bin. Huh. Tell you what, let's kill this. Free up the resources. Okay, matplotlib is built. Shoot. I know we can install. We can install Jupyter Labs by itself and see if it runs faster. Again, I'm thinking, well, this probably isn't a fair test because it's trying to build 3 or 4 packages at the same time. it's just kind of odd that it's linking to that's kind of odd that the virtual environment is linked to the main installation, which means it's going to try to install the packages to the main installation rather than into the environment itself, which again kind of defeats the purpose of having an environment. Oh, if you guys want to go and get a cup of coffee and come back in a couple minutes, I'll still be here. So I'm planning on doing more live stream. Just this is a form of therapy for myself, and I have somebody to talk to. Even I can talk to the screen if no one's there. But I do appreciate you guys stopping by the way, and chatting with me. Okay. And of course, as always, hey, invite a friend along next time. Okay. And if you're in the stock market, be sure to check out my videos, my shorts on my shorts that have to do with stock analysis. I do a few stocks a week that interest me. I do stock charts. Then I do forecast and returns. That's all done with our programming language in tidyverse and tidyquant. Okay. So be sure to check those out also. There's a playlist for that. Go to my playlist, look for stock shorts, look for tidyquant and stock data short. So where are we here? Okay, good. We're getting close. Matplotlib is built. Building a stats model. So we got pandas, stats models, and SciPy to build. So we are gradually working our way through it. So like I say, when this is done, I'm going to go back and simply try to add Jupyter Labs and see how fast that runs, okay? I'm also going to be doing some analysis of some data I have from another project that has to do with Sally shoe store sales analysis. The data was created using ChatGPT, 10,000 rows of sales data. It's also going to use DuckDB to store the data. Then use Python and company to actually try to do some analysis of the data, as well as, of course, SQL analysis. Okay, so be sure to stay tuned for that in the future. Of course, before we do that, hey, we have to get our environment set up. Oh, look at this. They're all, oh no, no. No. Oh, man. No. We were so close. Okay. Now my guess is built Seaport, was it? Man, that's just Fortran linker. That's interesting. Copy. Let's see if we can find a notebook over here or something like that. Character map, calculator, search tool, edit text files. Let's save. Under documents, All right, and there's our UV environment, because you can create the environment without any problem. Okay, so let's take a look, and I want you to notice one thing here, and that is G Fortran. That's the GNU variation of Fortran language. Now, so what this tells us is, and this is true in R also, a lot of these packages like Panda and stuff, hey, they're basically just wrappers for Fortran. Okay? Supported arguments. Let's see what we got here. Let's come back up here. So it's failed on SciPy, which means it probably didn't. It means it probably didn't build pandas either. This is annoying. Fortran host, compiler for host, Junior Fortran collection. Consider using built-in option for language standard version. Don't know what that means. So, hopefully, it appears to be using, yeah, I know, I might get around to that later on. So, we got a bunch of crap here. So what actually ran then? So again, NumPy was built, Matplotlib was built, then it failed on SciPy. So let's try UV add. Let's try, what was I thinking of a moment ago? Jupyter. Let's see if this works. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this. Did I spell Jupyter right? Oh wow. Okay, this is what it's supposed to do. So I have to confess, my mistake I made was trying to install more than one package at a time, because it tries to build them all at once. But you can see how fast this is running now. Trying to use if it works. If it works, okay? So let's come back and let's try to build pandas again. But it's still building and not simply downloading, okay? But it's very, so this is how fast it's supposed to run. Although it's still a little slow, I say, because it's still trying to build the packages. And I don't think if you use it on Windows, Mac OS, or Linux, I don't think it'll try. I have to try, but I don't think it actually builds the packages. But you can see it's already installed 74 of 81 total packages. But let's see if it actually finishes. Interesting, okay. So I try to install Jupyter and I say, hey, let's build but NumPy's already built. Okay, so let's build pandas and NumPy just for the fun. No, those should already be built. I use ChatGPT all the time for programming. I do at times use it to look up error messages, but sometimes it's sort of like, run around in circles. Preparing packages, built. So how come we didn't recognize the fact that NumPy was already built? Now obviously if this doesn't work and pandas can't be installed, well, I mean, once again, it's going to limit its use. I mean, again, I can go up to the package manager and install pandas separately, but that doesn't mean it's going to actually be working within the environment, okay? We've been at this how long now? Probably almost 57 minutes. Well, I'll be here to the bitter end, okay? I'll be here to the bitter end, but we'll see what happens. Uh, 77, so it's still trying to build pandas, NumPy, and that RPDS, and PyYAML. Yeah, so I thought I would say, you know what, I'll just install Jupyter by itself, and that should be easy. No, it's not. No, it's not. Maybe I should have tried to install DuckDB instead. I should post a note to the UV forum and say, hey, how's the, let's just have some fun, shall we? Let's go over to the BSD forum, to the UV forum, and ask it, so here's the repository. Now the question is, what would I have to do to build this? I got Rust installed. Highlights, run scripts, install, manage, runs, installs, pip compatible interface, workspaces. See, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. With PyPy, and pip didn't work over here either because it's something funky. Let's see. Issues. New issue. See, I'm trying to be positive here and say, you know, say, and assuming that there is a port coming along. It's not really a question, is it? Really nice. It'd be really creative to have a, no, it's not creative to have a, great. What's it called? Okay, we're up to 77 packages now. There we go. So there's my 2 cents worth. So we're still at 77, okay? It's still building pandas, numpy, even though it only said Jupiters, now it's still installing a bunch of packages here, okay? It's still building 3 packages. Tell you what, my friends, I'm going to bring this live stream to a close. I'll try to give an update tomorrow night, do a brief stream. Hopefully a shorter stream tomorrow night when things make a little more sense. But thanks so much to TrixOGT. Thanks for the other 2 gentlemen, the person who dropped by and said hi. And thanks for all them crowns. I appreciate the crowns very much. As always, be sure to invite your friends. Click that subscribe button, okay?